If I was ever a character in a book, I would be like in a cozy, small town romance book. I would not be in a fantasy book, that's for sure. You put me in a scenario with a deadly game and romance and tension, I'm gonna eat it up. I'm gonna eat it up every single time. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is super fun. I've actually done a few of these in the past, and it's just a ultimate book video. So that means that this vlog is going to be full of fun book related activities. So let's get into it. So we are starting off this video by reading Phantasma. I have been seeing this book all over my For You page, my Instagram feed. I think Sarah Caroli even recently read it in one of her reading vlogs, and yeah, the hype honestly just kind of got to me and I was like, okay, I need to pick this book up. Luckily, it was available for free on Kindle Unlimited, so I have it on my handy dandy Kindle. It's about these two sisters and they come from a line of witches. However, the magic is only passed down to the oldest daughter, so only one of them has powers, and she is a necromancer, meaning she can talk to dead people, control them, all that sort of jazz. And basically, they both enter this deadly competition called Phantasma, and whoever wins gets a really fantastic prize. It's very similar vibes to Caraval, like magical world, two sisters, deadly competition, a lot of twists and turns and hidden secrets and all that kind of stuff. I am currently 22% through and I'm honestly really enjoying it. I loved the Caraval series, so I think that's why I'm really eating up Phantasma. But yeah. So I just reached the part where the first trial takes place. It is night 2 of Phantasma. I forget how many nights there are in total, but the main character, Ophelia, can't leave her group until around level 7, so she can go find her sister who is in a different group. There isn't a lot of information about what the trials are and what happens during them. A lot of the previous contestants have either died because of the competition or just like don't talk about it. So everyone, including me, the reader, is in the dark, and it is just like skyrocketing my anxiety right now. I don't know how these fantasy girlies do it. If I was ever a character in a book, I would be like in a cozy, small town romance book. I would not be in a fantasy book, that's for sure. So I am officially 30% through Phantasma. Our main character, Ophelia, just finished her first trial, and we're starting to see more of who I suspect is our love interest, Blackwell. He is this phantom that is trapped in Phantasma. He doesn't know why he's there, how he got trapped there, or how to free himself. So he's super intrigued by Ophelia because she is a necromancer. He notices that she's different than the rest of the contestants, which is why he really wants her help trying to set himself free. I honestly really like their relationship dynamic right now. It's super light and bantery, even though they're in such a high stakes area. But yeah. enjoying this book. Do not get me wrong, like it is thoroughly entertaining me. However, the one thing that I could do without are the long chapters. So if you did not know, on a Kindle, it tells you how long you have until you're done with the chapter. And I think I'm a fairly fast reader. So when the chapter says it's like 20 minutes long, not for me. Not for me. Sorry. Nothing beats a short, quick chapter. Now, I'm getting through them, don't worry, but sometimes I'm struggle busing. I'm not gonna lie. So I am 50% through Phantasma and I am just devouring this book. It is so good. The romance is kind of ramping up like a lot. We're getting a lot of good scenes and banter between Blackwell and Ophelia, and I'm not gonna lie, there have been a few pretty spicy scenes. I'm not one to complain. But yeah, I just finished reading about the third trial, and each trial within this competition is designed like a circle of hell. So we had like greed, lust, things like that. Super interesting take, honestly. And some of the stuff that they have to do, like I am not one to like really envision books. Usually it's just like words on a page for me, but like I literally can like see it in my mind happening like it's a movie, which is so crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna take a quick break and make some dinner, kind of give myself a break from reading about hell and demons and witches. But yeah, I will see you guys in a few. So it is the next day and I have some exciting news. I ended up finishing Phantasma late last night. It was around 10:30 when I hit the 75% mark, and I kind of just sat and thought to myself like, I should just finish the book. Like, I'm this invested. I'm devouring it. Like, I might as well just lock in and finish reading Phantasma. And that's exactly what I did. I don't regret a single thing. I may be a little bit sleepy today, but it's well worth it. So I ended up rating Phantasma a 4 out of 5. I really liked the book. It honestly reminded me a lot of Caraval, two sisters, a mysterious competition filled with magic and stuff. Obviously, Phantasma kind of runs more on the paranormal gothic side, whereas Caraval is more like magical. I don't want to say lighthearted because there are like dark things that happen, but it doesn't deal with demons and ghouls. I also really loved how short Phantasma is. It's about 400 pages, which in the scheme of things isn't that short for a book, but for a fantasy book, it definitely is. I feel like fantasy books range about to like 600 to 700 pages most of the time, just because it takes a lot of like world building and explaining the magic system and things like that. There is a second book coming out about Genevieve, Ophelia's sister, so I definitely want to read that when it comes out in April. But yeah, I really loved the book, really loved the premise. You put me in a scenario with a deadly game and romance and tension, I'm gonna eat it up. I'm gonna eat it up every single time. The only thing that kept this book from being a 5-star read for me was that the ending did feel a little rushed. I just felt like the climax didn't fully peak for me. So 4 out of 5. Highly recommend, especially during the spooky Halloween season. So moving on, I thought it'd be super fun to show you guys all the book mail that I have accumulated over the past several weeks. I have about 10 books to show you guys, so let's get into it. So we're starting off this haul with Everything I Promised You by Katie Upperman. This was sent to me by Sourcebooks Fire, so thank you so much for sending me this. And this is actually an ARC, so this is an advanced reader's copy, meaning that it's not out yet and it won't be released until about February 4th, 2025. So mark your calendars. This is a YA fantasy that really focuses on coming of age, dealing with grief and acceptance. And it's about this girl named Leah, and she has a close friend named Beck. They are so-called army brats, and their families are friends. They're really close, and basically Leah just always thought that her and Beck were destined for each other, that it was just bound to happen, happen. It's just how she pictured her life. And then one day, Beck unfortunately passes away at a very young age, and this life that Leah has kind of imagined for herself is ripped away from her. And this is just about her story of maybe finding a new love, grieving her old one, dealing with that grief, and accepting that things may not be how you always planned them out to be. So yeah, I would say the synopsis is very similar to If He Had Been With Me, because they're both very sad YA romances but deal with kind of heavy topics. So I definitely want to read this. It sounds devastating, but I think I'm gonna love it. So moving on, our next book is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. So this was sent to me by the publishing company HarperCollins, so thank you so much for this. And as you can tell by the title and the cover, this is a cozy rom-com mystery set during the Christmas time. So in a few months, this book is going to be perfect. Because this book is a mystery, I am not going to read the full synopsis. I like going into mysteries blindly. I don't want to know what the problem is. I want to read about the problem and try to solve it with no background information whatsoever. But the inside cover has a brief description, and it reads, Knives Out gets a rom-com twist in this rivals to lovers Christmas romance mystery from New York Times bestselling author Ali Carter. So Ali Carter is also the author of The Blind Identity, which I guess is really, really popular. Ali Hazelwood, Stephanie Garber have all raved about that book, and yeah, like if Stephanie Garber and Ali Hazelwood like Ali Carter, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like her. So keeping with the theme of holiday books, I was sent The Lodge by Kayla Olson. This was sent to me by Atria Books, so thank you so much. But this is about Alex Morgan, and she is a ghostwriter, and she finally got her big break when she was tasked with the job of being the ghostwriter for the memoir of a former boy band member. And basically, as a thank you, he decides to let her stay in this cabin in Vermont, where she does strike up a romance with her ski instructor. However, there is an aspect of mystery in this book because the former frontman of this boy band went missing, and they never really solved why he went missing, where he is at now, things like that. And the more Alex stays at this lodge, she's starting to uncover all these sorts of secrets. So super interesting premise. I just love the aspect of a mystery, but you also have this cozy, cute rom-com set during the winter time to get you in that holiday feeling. So we are not done with the holiday-centered books because Atria Books also sent me Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine, and this is also an arc. It will be released on April 1st, 2025, and it is about Margot. She is a best-selling romance author who doesn't quite believe in love. So when this secret was found out by her readers and her publishing company, she was essentially canceled. So in order to continue financially supporting her and her chronically ill sister, she decides to switch genres to murder mystery instead. So they decide to take a 6-week remote trip to Alaska to kind of recuperate from the scandal, get her creative juices going, all that jazz. And that's where she meets Forrest, who is basically like the innkeeper, I guess. And let's just say she starts acting like she's in one of her romance novels. So this book sounds super, super good. I love it when characters in books are also bookish people, like they're readers or they're authors, because it just feels like we have this like little connection even more than a normal non-bookish character. There are just so many inside jokes when the main character is also a bookish person, and I love that so so much. Like, it just makes my day, honestly. This book sounds super good, super cute. I will definitely be reading it during the holiday season. So the final holiday-centered book of this haul, because we're not done with the entire haul. We still have a lot more books to get through, but this is the last holiday-centered book, is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. This is part of the Caraval trilogy. It's actually a novella that takes place during the Christmas time. Think of it as a Christmas special or a holiday special where we get to see our favorite fun characters. I have been looking forward to reading about the Caraval universe and the characters again for a long time, like ever since this book was announced essentially. And I'm happy to show you guys that this book has fan art inside. Like, that is amazing. Look how gorgeous that is. Like, oh my gosh. Honestly, the fan art and the fact that there are illustrations throughout the book is kind of the reason why I decided to pick it up immediately rather than asking for it for Christmas, because I just knew I needed this in my collection like ASAP. I honestly don't know what this book is about, and I'm not gonna read the synopsis because I just need to go into it blind. Like, the Caraval trilogy is all about mystery and magic, and I just feel like they're the type of books that you need to go into blind as well, because trying to figure out what's going on and just taking in all the twists and turns is kind of the best part of reading the series, in my opinion. So what this book is about is going to stay a mystery, but I will tell you that the Caraval trilogy is a 5-star series for me. Stephanie Garber is probably one of my favorite authors ever. I just love her and her work. She also wrote Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is in the same universe as Caraval. Some of the characters appear in both series, and it's just like so good. So if you're looking for a new fantasy series, please go read Caraval, go read Once Upon a Broken Heart, because it's very much a fairy tale fantasy kind of vibe, like very magical, and there's a lot of twists and turns, and you just fall in love with the characters. So moving on, the next book we have is The Witches of El Paso by Louis Jaramillo, I want to say. I am so sorry if I just butchered that. I am horrible with last names, like absolutely horrible, so I apologize. But this book is a fantasy magical realism book about witches. It reads, magic, motherhood, and the music of the coven. Something's amiss in modern day El Paso, where the lines that separate reality and the supernatural seem to be blurring at an alarming rate. And one family is about to find themselves at a border that may be too dangerous to cross. Ambitious attorney Marta knows where real power lives in this world, in money and blood. Her work as a lawyer has underscored this sober reality, a contrast to the colorful stories her great aunt Nina spins about La Vista, the magical gift Nina claims they both share. As Marta balances the care of her quirky 93-year-old Tia with motherhood and her struggling legal aid practice, she discovers that Nina had a daughter she abandoned in the past, and they must work together to find a way back to her. So this definitely sounds super interesting. The whole aspect of magical realism and having fantasy aspects and elements in the real world really interests me. I feel like it's a lot easier to grasp because you don't have to understand a whole world building system and magic system. Like, it's straight to the point. They're witches, or they may be witches in the modern day. I feel like I've also seen a lot of great reviews on Instagram about this book, so I'm excited to read it. So the next book of this haul was also sent to me by Atria Books, and it is a book that I have been wanting to read for quite some time, and it is Tell Me Lies. This is also a Hulu TV series, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it literally has it. It's one of those print-on stickers. Don't love that, but I love that I was sent this book because I've been wanting to read it for quite some time, because I have been hearing nothing but great things about the TV series. I am a avid watcher of Sarah Caroli, and if you are too, you know that Miss Girl is obsessed with that show. She always puts it in her vlogs, and watching her reactions and how excited she is about when new episodes drop and all the drama drama that happens in the show, I'm like, I need to watch it. But I really want to read the book before I watch the show, obviously. Like, that's just what bookish people do. We have to read the source material and then get mad when it's not the same as the show. It's just how the universe works. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. But the back of this book says, everyone remembers the one, no, not that one, the other one, the wrong one, the one you couldn't let go of, the one you'll never forget. So why is this giving me like Magnolia Parks vibes? Like toxicity, kind of like normal people. We're constantly having like miscommunication tropes, and I'm here for it. Normally, I'm not a fan of the miscommunication trope, but if I know that it's probably going to be a big factor, I can get over it. Like, just because I live for the drama and angst that comes from it. So can't wait to dive into this book. Can't wait to watch the TV series as well. So the final book that was sent to me by Atria Books was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and it is a special edition copy. So it has 7 wedding rings, and on the back it has a letter. And I read this book probably 2 years ago. I read it when I first got into reading. That's like when the hype was really happening for the book, and obviously it is still a very, very popular book. I am constantly recommending it to friends when they get into reading. They're like, hey, really want to get into reading, like what should I try? And I always give them 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I just feel like it is a must. But basically, if you live on a rock and you don't know what this book is, or you're just now getting into reading, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and it is about this starlet Evelyn Hugo and her 7 husbands, but it's told in like a then and now timeline because Evelyn is actually being interviewed by our main character or our narrator in her old age. So it's Evelyn looking back on her life, telling the reporter, you know, her true story. And it is just so good. I'm pretty sure I rated this a 5-star read because I do think about it quite often. I cannot wait for the movie to come out. Now, do I think it should be a TV series? Yes. But beggars can't be choosers. I'm so excited for the movie. I think this is just the era of like books being turned into movies constantly, but I'm living for it. So the next book of this haul is Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. This is actually my college's book club pick for like next month, I think, but I am such a huge mood reader that I decided to pick up a copy early so I can kind of see what I'm in the mood for, if I'm in the mood for it now or if I want to read it later, because as a mood reader, I never know what I want to read. Like, it is even a mystery to me. I do not know. But I have heard great things about Julie Soto. I have another book by her that I haven't read yet, Forget Me Not, and people just rave about it. So I'm super excited to have more of her work because I just have a feeling that I am going to become obsessed with her. And this book is about 2 musicians, 2 rival musicians, may I add, and I just eat that up. I love a good rival celebers. So we are on our final book of this book haul, and I've been saving this book for last because it is essentially the grand finale of this book haul, and that is my special edition of Light Lark by Alex Astor. So it came in this like bookcase essentially that's like foiled, and then on the back it says, there are lies and liars around you. And then you take it out of this casing and you're met with this beautiful, beautiful cover. Like, look at that. And then it has sprayed edges. Like, my jaw is to the floor. This is stunning. And then inside we have the map. And then this is why I bought the book. This is why. There's fan art inside. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is my newest prized possession. I cannot contain my excitement right now. Like, I literally cannot. But I read Light Lark last month, and it was a 5-star read for me. And the minute I saw that this was a thing, I added it to my Amazon cart and checked out as fast as I could because I just knew I needed this in my collection, because buying books and reading books are two separate hobbies. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. And I just needed this on my bookshelf displayed for everyone to see. But getting back on topic, Lightlark is a new adult fantasy. I wouldn't quite classify it as YA just because there are some spicy adjacent reads. But essentially, there are like 6 kingdoms and they're all cursed. They all have different curses and powers. And they have this competition called Lightlark every 100 years. And this is basically their opportunity to break free of their curses. However, one kingdom must die. So that entire kingdom must be wiped out. So it's a very high stakes competition because if our main character, Isla, loses, her entire kingdom would cease to exist and her entire population would die. So, very high stakes, very romantasy-esque, very enemies to lovers. It's so good. So many twists and turns. I literally was on the edge of my seat the entire book. Highly recommend, okay? So that was it for my book haul. I hope you enjoyed this segment of the video, but don't worry, the vlog is not over yet. I think I'm gonna start another book sometime today, but before I can get cozy and read, I gotta work on some homework because I am a full-time college student. So we're gonna be productive for a little bit and I will see you guys later. So it is the next day. Yesterday, as you saw, I started the audiobook of Natural Selection by Ellen Hilderbrand. This is my first time listening or reading something by her, which is crazy because I feel like the holy trinity of booktube, Sarah, Haley, Destiny, sing her praises all the time. So when I saw this little novella available on Kindle Unlimited, I thought, why not pick it up? Like, this is a sign, obviously. But I ended up finishing the audiobook this morning while I was doing some chores around the house. And honestly, I think I would rate it a 3 out of 5. It was super cute and I really liked the messaging behind it. I think for me, I was expecting a little bit more romance, but nonetheless, I truly did enjoy the book. It is about 50 pages. It's really short, fast-paced, but like, honestly, you don't feel like you're missing out because it's only 50 pages. I think Ellen Hilderbrand did a great job of really trying to flesh out the characters in such little time. But basically, this book is about Sophia, and she ends up going to the Galapagos Island alone. Originally, it was supposed to be a vacation for her and her boyfriend. However, right before they boarded the plane, he gets a call and it's an emergency. He has to go home. And instead of asking her to go with him and deal with this emergency as a couple, he insists that she goes on this vacation alone. So to kind of appease him, she's like, sure, I guess I'll go on this vacation by myself. And it's just kind of like apprehensive and confused by the situation. So she ends up going, and it kind of becomes a moment for her to like really reflect on who she is, what she wants out of life, and is this relationship truly meant to be? Things like that. And this theme of like self-discovery and finding yourself, I really, really liked. There was also a huge plot twist, which honestly, jaw to the floor. I did not expect that at all. But yeah, I think this has inspired me to read a full-length Ellen Hildebrand book. So I think I'm gonna start another little audiobook. I don't know why, but maybe I am entering my audiobook era. I'm just really enjoying it. And like the gratification of finishing a short novella in like an hour or two. But while I'm listening to an audiobook, I'm going to start working on my reading journal. I got this from Clever Fox, and it is like a fully templated out reading journal. I have been wanting to start a reading journal for I don't even know how long. It's just the aspect of like making the pages and all the time and effort that goes into it has kind of been daunting to me. So that's why I never really picked up a reading journal or started one. But when Clever Fox reached out to me and was like, hey, we want to send you a reading journal. Are you interested? I thought, okay, why not? Like that is just so fun. And it comes with like all these different book review templates that you can fill out. It has a reading log, it has a TBR tracker. So yeah, I think I'm gonna spend the rest of the morning kind of working on this because I am going to fill out what I've read so far this year. I'm not gonna start it just at November, so I'm gonna go back and fill out everything that needs to be filled out to be caught up to present day. So yeah. So I just finished filling out my reading journal. While working on it, I was listening to Staged by El Cosimano, and this is a cozy small town mystery novella about an open house preparation gone wrong. So I actually finished the book, and I think I would rate it a 3.25. I really, really enjoyed it. I just thought it was super cute. It was easy to follow, easy to understand. It was entertaining, and I loved the small town setting. Like, if you want a cozy mystery, this is a cozy mystery, okay? And it is part of a series, so there are like 5 other books, I think. And if you are looking for an audiobook that's just short, cute, entertaining, honestly, pick up this series because it is now going to be my go-to whenever I want an audiobook. Moving on to my reading journal, I ended up filling out the entire reading log up until November, which is when I'm filming this video. And I did do some like little reviews. I did one for the 7-Year Slip, which I rated a 5-star in October. And then I also did one of Phantasma. It wasn't a 5-star. I ended up rating it a 4-star, which I think I mentioned in this video. But I just really loved the premise, and because it reminded me so much of Careful, I feel like I had to write a review about the book. And then on the other page, I haven't filled out a full extensive book review, but I did end up filling out like mini reviews for November just because I do want to track most of the books I read, but not every book needs this whole page, okay? But yeah, I am like so excited to continue working on this journal, filling it out, and honestly, when it's like fully finished, I feel like it's going to be so satisfactory because I can just look back and see this book and all the books I've read, and yeah, sorry, I'm getting a little sappy. So I think that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below if you like these bookish vlogs. If you want more reading journal updates from me, I would love to know. And yeah, make sure to subscribe for more videos, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.